Donald Trump had a wild interview recently on Fox News, and in that interview, one of his answers is causing legal experts to raise the alarm and question whether Donald Trump just confessed to committing a crime. Wait until you hear what this guy said now. Mark Levan is one of the nastiest hosts over on Fox News. This guy is a total Trump sycophant. I mean, he gives Sean Hannity a run for his money. Just listen to this ridiculous question he asked Trump in regards to the attempted assassination.
You've been a man of faith. You go to church. You believe in God. Has this further your belief, your commitment, and obviously God, in addition to that chart, saved your life. He has a purpose for you. Do you think about these things?
Donald Trump doesn't even pretend to go to church. I don't think I've ever seen a video of this guy just showing up to church to worship. What a joke. And somehow Donald Trump still manages to bring up Hillary Clinton. And yet, after all these years, he still has no idea about what happened with her emails that he talks about all the time. Listen to this.
Now, this is the United States. When it came to Hillary, you remember they subpoenaed her stuff and she bleach bit. That's where you just, it's basically acid.
BleachBit is a piece of software used to clean up disk space. It's not a physical product. Donald Trump is convinced that Hillary took her computer out into the backyard and started wailing on it with a hammer and pouring acid all over it. And speaking of bringing up ghosts of the past, Donald Trump brought up Mike Pence and claimed that Kamala treated Mike Pence worse than anyone. I'm serious.
Now they have Kamala, who they say has many deficiencies, but she's a nasty person. The way she treated Mike Pence was horrible. The way she treats people is horrible. But the way she treated Justice Kavanaugh during that hearing, in the history of Congress, nobody's been treated that way.
But Donald Trump is responsible for a mob trying to kill Mike Pence on January 6th. So I think he should relax with pointing fingers at others and saying that people are mistreating Mike Pence. But what he said about Kamala grilling Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh during his confirmation hearing is great. If you want to see Kamala Harris at her best, go back and watch those Senate Judiciary Committee hearings when Kamala was a senator and she was going in on Brett Kavanaugh. It was fantastic. And before I show you guys the clip that has legal experts questioning whether Donald Trump confessed to a crime, I have to share one last clip with you guys where Donald Trump talks about how he comes to his decisions.
The American people, I think a lot of them want to know, how do you come by your decisions and how do you manage in the Oval Office?
Well, I think that I learned, like I talked about the truckers, I learned about trucks, and by talking to them, in 5 minutes, I knew as much as I'm going to have to know to make decisions that are going to be earth-shattering for transportation, for moving cargo and moving a lot of other things.
I don't know about you, but I want a president that spends more than 5 minutes considering a subject before making an earth-shattering decision. Why in the world does he think this stuff sounds good? And this leads us to the point where Trump gets to discuss his favorite subject, how he's a victim of the criminal justice system.
Whoever heard you get indicted for interfering with a presidential election where you have every right to do it? You get indicted and your poll numbers go up. When people get indicted, your poll numbers go down.
That just sounds like Trump admitted to committing a crime. And legal experts are starting to raise the alarm. Legal analyst and MSNBC host Katie Phang said the following on Twitter: criming and then confessing to the criming. That's a Trump specialty. And former federal prosecutor Joyce Vance chimed in as well. There's no right to interfere with a presidential election. This is the banality of evil right here. Trump asserting he can override the will of the voters to claim victory in an election he lost. And he will do it again. We must vote against him in overwhelming numbers. And one of California's favorite congressmen and a total Trump hater, Ted Lieu, weighed in as well. Dear @RealDonaldTrump, are you seriously this stupid? You think President Biden has the right to interfere in the upcoming election? Do you want VP Harris to do what you tried to get former VP Mike Pence to do? Are you really this dumb? Also, interfering in elections is illegal. Kamala Harris's campaign released a statement as well. Check this out. They said everything Donald Trump has promised on the campaign trail, from terminating the Constitution to imprisoning his political opponents and promising to rule as a dictator on day one, makes it clear that he believes he is above the law. Now, Trump is claiming he had every right to interfere in the 2020 election. He did not. While Donald Trump is pushing his false history about the past, the American people are ready for a new way forward. They know Vice President Harris is the tough-as-nails prosecutor we need to turn the page on chaos, fear, and division and uphold the rule of law. So while it looks like Donald Trump had a blast with his buddy Mark Levin over on Fox News and his softball questions, it appears he might have just confessed to committing a crime. So I hope the Department of Justice is paying attention and taking note, because we could probably wrap this case up pretty quickly if Donald Trump keeps running his mouth like this.